common denominator.
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Let's talk about something important. Put that coffee down.
I'm not here to waste your time.
Where else you gonna have this much fun?
You the man. Todd Father.
Show me the money.
What I've been doing, had to triple my bag. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Yeah. Had to triple my bag.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, it's no trick to make a lot of money. All you want is to make a lot of money.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Duo live show here at Learn Crypto, your one-stop shop for crypto and stock technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and news. Let's smash that like, share, and subscribe button. My name is Nick Hellman.
I'm Todd Butterfield.
The man with the plan, taking us all to Lambo Land. So again, if you want 24/7 access to us, join us at patreon.com/learncrypto. We have been winning. Todd has been doing, 2, 3, 4 successful profit trades on Ethereum recently. We took profits on Bitcoin before the sell-off. We took profits on Coinbase before the sell-off. The same goes on with Pengu and so many more. If you want that advice, just join us, patreon.com/learncrypto. Not that hard. If you want to get our general market sentiment or feel us out, then tune in here on YouTube or over on Twitter. All of the live comments that we interact with primarily are due to the YouTube live section. So if you're watching us on Twitter, like many of you, if you want to actually chat with us, get over to YouTube. And shout out to everybody watching us on Facebook as well. What you got going on today, Todd?
I mean, Bitcoin had a big recovery rally from, about 4 a.m., but we're 2,000 off the highs. And Ethereum is lower than where I sold it. So we'll get to the charts here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, of course, we'll start with CoinGecko. Then we'll let Todd go over the large cap charts. And we'll talk about some of the reasons why there's been so much volatility. Obviously, there was a Fed event that is talking primarily about crypto and stablecoins still going on as we speak. It started this morning. It goes all the way around to dinner time. And then, there's a lot of speculation that the next interest rate cut will happen at the end of October and that Trump and China will be shaking hands by November 1st. So a lot of volatility, a lot of uncertainty, but I think the macros all look pretty bullish. But of course, Todd will be looking at the charts right after this. Bitcoin's still number one on the list. Do you think Bitcoin ever gets flipped? I don't know, but it's $111,645. Flat for the week. Ethereum down 3% on the week, back below $4,000. Tether is still $1, and BNB is still holding above $1,000, but has been underperforming, down 11% in the last week. This thing was the darling, the biggest overperformer for the past 6 months, hit as high as $1,300, back to under $1,100, and XRP has become a stable coin once again, sitting here at $2.48. So let's see. Biggest winners, Zcash. The privacy narrative continues. I made a post earlier today that said Zcash wants to go to new highs. Of course, about 2 hours after that post, it went to new highs, going over $300 for the first time since probably 2020 or 2017. And with that, the Zen chart, which we'll go over, continues to hold what could be a nice Wyckoff schematic, sitting around $12 per Zen. The biggest losers? Well, Aster. Now, why does this matter to you guys? Because if you've been tuning in, this is one that we have been avoiding and said it will crash below $2 and it will get ugly to the downside. Now back down to below $1.15, $1.13 per token here, and airdrop participants continuing to sell their tokens seemingly as this chart just looks disastrous. Now, will there be a buy and burn? Can this turn around? Sure, but we have kept you on the sidelines, and so far that has saved you over 50% of your portfolio holdings. Aster was above $2.08 when everybody and their brother wanted to own it, and now it's down to $1.13 just a couple weeks later. Story IP, Chain Opera, AI, Caspa, BitTensor, all the other biggest losers for the 7-day period as well. So Todd, with no further ado, what do you see on Bitcoin and Ethereum charts? Why did we sell those? And what do you think about Zen, Aster, Pengu, and some of these other ones that we're actively trading?
All right, in front of us is a normal Bitcoin chart. You can see again these red highlights that have caught mostly every rally top. Technometer was nearby their 4 or 5 days ago. We're back here to neutral. You can see at 44.88. So this chart by itself, I just don't get too excited about it yet. I still think maybe we're working on a triangle here on Bitcoin. You can see down here at the bottom of the blue line, not digging out of here. So I'm still basically on the sidelines and looking for more sideways for a sell or maybe a little bit lower. So here's Ethereum. You can see here, let me zoom that up a little bit. I mean, really just trying to trade Ethereum here. I was showing this trading range. We did spike down below it. That could be a shakeout and a test, but the action last 4 days, not very exciting. That's why I took profits on the recent one. I think it was around 6.2%. Previous one was around 13%. You can see again here, volume, blue line, not even off the low here. So no strong volume coming in. Technometer 43, which is close to neutral. So nothing getting me too excited. Zen, we talked about down there. We had the jump and the backup. I know we were talking live right down there when it was 1075. And Technometer oversold 3 days ago down there at 1130 or so. So that one still is one that could lead us higher if we decide to clear the resistance and work higher on these things. And then
it'd be really nice if Zen played catch up to Zcash and went to that $20 range with Zcash near the highs. We'll see what happens.
Let's show the Zcash here real quick. You see Zcash goes to the new high today. As Nick mentioned, 280 currently. Volume a little bit lethargic, technometer neutral, so not much to add there. And while I'm here, we're going to do ADA that the Wise asked for. Same thing, pretty lethargic here. New lows on the volume coming into today. So showing the sell volume continues to come in. Technometer 45.18. There again, I'd have to trade that when I trade Ethereum, and nothing too exciting at the moment.
Shout out to the Wise Tent in here saying good afternoon to Todd. Tag McFadden saying giddy up. Hexbull in here saying let's go. Carrie's in here. Yannick's in here. Shout out to all you guys. Genghis Khan. Tournament Dan. Hell, what's going on?
Dan.
Yeah, I mean, I think the other topic we need to talk about is gold. Obviously, we were looking for short-term top in gold. Yourself was included. I had the actual gold spot price up, talking about targets of like 4,200 gold, and that was all the way back in August. And I did a rotation video saying that, hey, I think the short-term top in gold is in. We had people lining up around the streets. We even were on here on the live show right at the $4,400 top. We had a subsequent drop. It caught itself, double top back to 4,400 like yesterday, and has absolutely been smashed today. And at the same time, we're seeing this potential top in gold. Bitcoin is seeing a bit of a rally. Last time this happened back in April when gold topped, Bitcoin was at its exact low before it ran to new all-time highs. Do you think there's any, truth to this rotation theory that I kind of have and many other people in the markets have as well? If you only need a little bit of the profits from gold to rotate into Bitcoin to send things much higher.
Well, definitely gold had an amazing rally off the lows, so I'm a little short with losses. I do think there's more downside here. This is pretty aggressive today. So, I want to see lower than I would say maybe a decent bounce, 0.618 bounce. Then probably still lower out another 4 or 6 weeks. I had mentioned a couple months lower in gold, and I think that's where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's only a couple months, I still think that bodes well for Bitcoin. Just because last time I said, the top was back in April, and that was at like 3,500 gold. And gold didn't go much lower. I mean, it dropped as low as like 3,000 and kind of went sideways, hovering around 3,300 all the way until August. And during that 4-month consolidation period, Bitcoin went from 70,000 up to the new all-time highs of 125K. And even if gold kind of did the same thing, held, the 4,000 levels and went sideways for 3, 4, 6 months, I think that could lead to history to repeat itself and Bitcoin to do its 4-year halving cycle, go to new all-time highs, and we'll see how high it wants to go in the face of the gold spot prices. I think what's interesting is Gold hit $30 trillion, and the entire crypto market capitalization right now is less than $4 trillion. That's what I think people need to keep in mind. Not to say gold, crypto is going to change the world and this, that, and the other. I mean, we've been saying that since the early days. That's why we're early. But I think people are like, wow, Bitcoin's already expensive. It's 120,000. Oh, ETH's expensive. It's 4,000. It's like the entire cryptocurrency market capitalization, 16,000 tokens on CoinGecko, is less than 4 trillion. Gold added 10 trillion in value in the past month and a half. That's pretty crazy to think about.
And I think gold down to 3,900 probably decent. Maybe a shake to 3,600, 3,500, but I think gold probably is still, I think the narrative's turned on gold. I think it's still medium to longer term, still probably tries to work higher, but we definitely got frothy up here in the last week.
Lines around, yeah, I mean, all those videos were insane. The retail was lining up literally at the $4,400 high and getting charged $5,000 an ounce. They were willing to pay it. They wake up, a weekend later and spot prices back to 4,100. If you go to try to trade that in at your local pawn shop, they're going to pay you under spot. They're going to pay you like $4,000. That's how you lose $1,000 per ounce in 3 days. Pretty crazy. What else you guys got going on in the chat box? We have talked about Pulse Chain quite a bit. Pulse Chain is green once again, up about 1% on all the core coins. And yeah, I mean, all of the funds, Todd, all of the funds, $700 million with the ETH has been moved out of that sacrifice wallet, sent to fresh addresses, and sent through Tornado Cash so it can't be tracked. Is Richard Hart a 5D chess scammer beating the SEC but now going to take all the money? Will this funds find its way into Pulse Chain to pump the chain? Richard Hart himself about a week ago said people don't like to sell things for cheaper than they bought it. And they bought a lot of this ETH. I think it was like $4,000, $4,800, $3,800. I still think $5,000 ETH is when alts get going, and I don't think that Richard Hart or that SAC wallet really wants to sell Ethereum and start pumping Pulse Chain until Ethereum breaks above and closes above $5,000. So we'll wait and see, but this is a way to hide where those funds are so people can't watch them, can't track it, can't see who's actually pumping the chain. And this is pretty ironic timing with the privacy narrative going on with Zcash, Zencash, Tornado Cash, and everything else.
I'm going to switch it up here briefly. I think an idea that we're going to be looking at moving forward maybe is that oil's trying to bottom. This is December 25 crude. I think you can see there maybe we've had 5 waves up and an ABC, if you like any Elliott wave on the commodities, which I do look at once in a while. If you look at USO, oil fund, ETF, same type of thing, 5 up in green, WXY down in red. We tried to turn it higher today. So that's something to look at. I think probably ExxonMobil, any of those got some decent yields. Might be all right for the more conservative person. Here's LNT, Alliant Energy, that I'm long and I think would have much higher to go. And then another one, just started talking about NBR, Neighbors Industries. This one was, 180 at the highs, I think. Major downtrend off those highs, as you can see if you zoom in. 210 on the high. We're down here at the bottom. But I do, again, I think you can see here, got a little Wyckoff accumulation, I believe. You can see down there on the bottom that I'm always looking for. And I got that on YouTube a couple days ago, trying to explain some of these. Blue is showing net sell volume continuing to come in, even after the highs up there at 210. But volume, with it coming down, price is still being supported. Looks like accumulation coming in. We've had a jump and a backup. And if volume turns up here, I think this one would have a nice solid rally. So that's something just starting to nibble on here with the pro traders at WyckoffSMI.com.
You know who doesn't want oil price to go up? That's Trump. He's been leaning on that. Every week I go to Sam's Club, I usually make a tweet just giving an update on gas prices. And week after week, it's been going down like 5 or 6 cents per gallon. I think last week it was like $2.46 a gallon over at Sam's Club. I haven't gone there yet this week to do vending machines, so I'll give you guys tune into that. But gas has been very cheap, and that kind of correlates with crude oil prices also been down. So we'll see what happens if you're right and if the oil prices start going up. What happens to our actual finished product and that gasoline that goes in our cars and our toys?
Yep.
Shout out to the 232 viewers on Twitter, and shout out to the 22 viewers here on YouTube, and shout out to the unknown number of viewers on Facebook because I don't have that open. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Help the algorithm, and throw us your questions, comments, and concerns in the live chat on YouTube. So far, we've gone over the Bitcoin chart, the Ethereum chart. We've given an update on Pulse Chain. What do you, and as well as Zcash and Zen. What do you think of Pengu? Do you have that chart handy by chance? Pengu is one we bought in the liquidation crisis, sold it for 68% gains, and it's kind of following the market here. It's about 25% lower than our profit sell, and just trying to find a re-entry on that at some point, as I think in Q4 they're going to be pushing some IRL products to the market, and the Pengu IP will continue to grow.
In the chart, I don't have much to show here. I mean, you and I talked about that back at, I think, around 10 cents when it was coming down to the 5 cent area. Had an enormous rally out of there, and then have given up most of the gains. New low in the volume, price higher. So yeah, that's one that you like. Jump on it, or if I'm jumping on Ethereum, you probably could jump on Pengu and try to trade some type of rally along with that as well.
Yeah, we essentially sold that relief rally right after the liquidation crisis, and now we're just having some patience. So we're going to see if there's an ABC down here or a 5-wave down here potentially, and I guess we'll be watching Ethereum and Solana. And when those two maybe flicker a buy signal for us, Pengu is an altcoin that we want to get another trade in, and it's treated us well. If an altcoin is making us money on trades and has fundamentals going for it, we like to stick with it and keep riding the hot hand. There might be other new shiny objects, but a win is a win when it comes to trading and to IP.
I thought Ethereum was going to be volatile sideways, so that's why I've tried to trade half our position to try to take advantage of that and bank some profits while maybe we're still sideways to a little bit lower.
Are you able to pick up Frank Media's request here? It says the PLS copy of Wrap Bitcoin, and then there's the trading view symbol. Maybe you can copy and paste that. If that works, Frank Media, Todd will look at it. If not, we'll have to look at that another day. Essentially, this is a copy of the Wrap Bitcoin over on Pulse Chain. There's only like 150,000 of them, and the speculation. Now that would be a wild ride.
WPL, I think this is the chart, and I have had this one because we've looked at it before in Patreon. There's a chart I'd shown before. It had a pretty big downtrend, and Wyckoff wants downtrends to be broken before you get too excited. So we showed there a jump and a back up. It did have a run from 300 to almost 1,200, and now back down to 350. So not much new here. I mean, you could call this a selling climax automatic rally, and then we've come back down here to test or try to spring that rally. And a nice solid 4 days off that low. So that could be, the start of something. So maybe any type of little pullback here. I don't think it hurt to pick some of that one up.
Tournament Dan says, any ideas for entries in any new coins? I mean, I think you just need to, join us at patreon.com/learncrypto. We're trying to find new entries, but we're kind of trading what's working, and we're looking for re-entries on Ethereum. We're looking for re-entries on Bitcoin. We're looking for a re-entry on Pengu. We're still long Zen, as the Wyckoff schematic looks really good there, and it's kind of been following Zcash. So that's kind of our exposure to privacy coins. And then, of course, we are up big on PTGC, but it is all the way retested back to previous lows. So we like PTGC on Pulse Chain. We like Surf on Pulse Chain, and there are some others. But, right now we have a lot of cash when it comes to large caps, and we're looking to redeploy those, and you'll see some altcoin names in there as well when we decide to redeploy.
Let's run a disclaimer for regulators real quick. Hold on.
There's a high degree of risk involved in trading stocks and cryptocurrencies. Our thoughts and ideas are for entertainment purposes only. Please consult your personal advisor or do your own research. Past results are not indicative of future returns.
All righty.
I think another thing I want you to look at is BMNR and SBET. These two just continue to consolidate, and if you believe Ethereum is going to go higher, I think these two actually really explode. Now, BMNR does not have as attractive. It's trading at a premium, which means it's not as good of a deal, but the chart looks a lot better, I think, than SBET. But SBET is trading at a discount. So if you believe in Ethereum, you believe in their leaders. One is Joe Lubin for SBET, Thomas Lee for BMNR. You have the discount on SBET, but you have the nice looking chart of BMNR. And both of them just recently, Todd, bought the Ethereum div with size. Sharplink Gaming bought like 35 million worth of ETH. And Bitminer, Thomas Lee, bought over $100 million worth of ETH. And they continue to stake that ETH and continue to produce revenue for that company.
Let me zoom in here then. BMNR. I did mention that to our different discords, really between kind of 51 and 55. I'm doing a little bit of this, added on a little bit. I'm probably maybe at a minor loss myself, but Nick was a buyer back down here when we mentioned it. When I show here, Nick, I think it was around $30 or so when he first picked it up.
It was pretty much during the exact low, and you had a couple days to react to it.
Yep, and then we got new lows in the volume, price higher. So yes, that one still looks like at some point here can finally get going. SBET, same type of thing, setting down here 1447. Not much to add from our indicators. We are coming down to oversold. Again, that one somewhere here could be able to get going. Coin was a little slow today after picking up oversold there 3 days ago. You can see here the green arrow and the green oversold technometer reading at the opening of 320. So again, added a little bit of that for some clients. That one still looks like somewhere here can find some support and get going. And while we're here, MicroStrategy.
And I hope Coinbase can go a little bit lower. We sold our Coinbase position at 367. It's down to 338. It would be lovely if we could get one more oversold reading, either on the technometer or even the 4-hour RSI, to pick that back up cheaper once again.
MicroStrategy been a really major underperformer. We did talk about selling that up at 350. I did sell that for some clients up there at 350, 354. Oversold technometer. Momentum got out of a long and really underperforming, one that should be somewhere down here undervalued, but definitely not a good looking chart.
Let's see what else we got going on here. We got Hexbull saying, speaking of PTGC, should I pick some up down here? If you don't own any PTGC, PTGC is like our large cap exposure for Pulse Chain. Instead of having to own the 5 blue chips, we just own PTGC to get exposure to those, and then we dabble in other altcoins. Yeah, I mean, PTGC shows, obviously it needs Pulse Chain cores to do well. It's tied to all those in liquidity, but it just showed PLS rallied 15% off the low. PTGC went up 32% off the low plus passive income. So if you believe Pulse Chain is going to have success, which I believe it will, Richard Hart's getting more active, $700 million is on the move, hopefully finds its way into pumping the chain. PTGC has a proven track record of outperforming the core tokens, plus paying out passive income, plus having deflationary token supply. So we got involved with PTGC at 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 6 million, 10 million, 12 million, 20 million, 30 million. Right now it's at $70 million. So yes, it's come down quite a bit off the highs, like the rest of the market since February. But it just showed this last week. Pulse Chain rallied 15%. It rallied 32%. So if you like any of the blue chips on Pulse Chain, I think you're better off owning PTGC personally.
I don't really have much else to add. So I know you've got some plans here coming into 2:30. So
yeah, I'm actually heading to a card shop because they're actually paying about 90 to 95% of market for sealed Pokemon products. If you guys don't know, Pokemon has been on an absolute tear. So not only is there charting for Bitcoin and stocks, there's actually charting for Pokemon products. And some of these sets, I think, have got a little overheated. So if you own Team Up as a set, Ancient Origins as a set, I think with the recent run-up in price, those are 2 sets that might be worth slimming down. And I'm taking some of my boxes in to get a check and, pay some bills, pay some taxes that are due in January.
Nothing else.
What about you, Todd? You don't got any Pokemon cards to sell over there?
No, I don't. Never did jump into that, and I have zero knowledge.
What is it for you? I mean, you haven't really got into collecting. Your thing is like shoes is your collectibles, and then also those like tabletop race cars are kind of the collectibles that you dig into as well.
I did a little bit of that in the past, but yeah, not much else at the moment. Need to pick up golf again.
Yeah, you do. I've been trying to play. I think you can probably still take me, but now you're going to want to pick it up when it's wintertime. We're going to be playing in simulators, not actually touching grass, touching surf.
Right. The simulators, that'll be all right for the winter.
Right. Well, it looks like all the questions kind of slowed down. No more chart questions over here. Everybody's probably watching the Fed event. Who knows? But shout out to the over 300 people on Twitter watching, the 20, 30 people over on YouTube watching, and everybody watching on Facebook. I would just say hit the like, share, and subscribe button. We're being consistently coming on here to help you with free shows when we can and to keep you in the loop with news and charts. But if you want the 24/7 access, if you want the live trades, if you want the community to talk to and the ups and the downs, I mean, I think it's most important when there's massive volatility because those people tend to win. We won big in that liquidation crisis because we were in there calm, cool, collected, trying to buy. The community was buying, giving us suggestions. And we made a lot of money on that reversal. So I expect that to continue to happen the remainder of this bull cycle and beyond. And that's only happening in patreon.com/learncrypto.
That's all I got. So we're going to run this end of show and probably be on here tomorrow.